October 5th. Put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything, to stand. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 13. Paul says that the full armor of God keeps us prepared for the day of evil. What is this day of evil? In a real sense, it is every day as long as evil remains in the world. The battle is a continuous one, and we are called to stand victorious. This brings us to an interesting point. Is the armor offensive or defensive? Most commentators consider it to be largely defensive, painting a picture of Christians withstanding attack after attack of the enemy until Jesus comes again and rescues us. Dr. Ed Murphy, in his book, The Handbook for Spiritual Warfare, writes, many commentators and preachers affirm that all the weapons listed in Ephesians chapter 6, verses 14 to 17, with the possible exception of the sword of the Spirit, are defensive. Is that really true? No. A warrior who never attacks the enemy but only defends himself is a trapped warrior. An army that only defends itself but never attacks is unfit for war. A church which does not reach out to war but only stands and defends itself is already defeated. In spiritual warfare, the best defense is to go on the offense. Paul is referring to Roman military formations when he exhorts us to stand firm, most likely the feared Roman wedge. In an illustrated history of the Roman Empire, we have the following description. The wedge was commonly used by attacking legionaries. Legionaries formed up in a triangle, the front tip being one man and pointing towards the enemy. This enabled small groups to be thrust well into the enemy, and when these formations expanded, the enemy troops were pushed into restricted positions. The wedge was an aggressive formation used to crack open enemy lines. Relatively small groups of legionaries could form such a triangle and then drive their way into the enemy ranks. As more Roman soldiers reinforced the wedge from behind, the enemy line could be forced apart. As breaking the enemy's formation was very often the key to winning a battle, the wedge formation was a vitally important battlefield tactic of the Roman army. This imagery also emphasizes that we fight as a body, not as individuals. The devil has no defense against a united people of God, clad in full armor and on the offensive. Today's decree: with the full armor of God, we will stand victorious in this war against the devil.